She's a rock star. Karen's a rock star. Loretta's a rock star. All of you are rock stars.
Is Trash Panda here? No? Oh.
No, she's not a rock star.
No.
She's a boy band singer.
She said she was a rock star.
Oh, did she say that too?
She's rock star?
Did she say that for real, or are you being silly?
I'm being silly.
You're the liner of your hats. Like, it looks like you've got what is it, that nun thing, a halibut?
A halibut?
Isn't that what it's called, or that's a fish?
A halibut is a fish. Yeah, it's like a big flower.
But what is the thing that the nuns
wear? A mullet?
No, that the nuns wear.
Oh, what do the nuns? What do the nuns wear? Remember that one?
I do remember that. Well, I don't remember what do the nuns wear.
No, it's what does the fox say?
Do you remember? You might need to scoot over. Do you remember when people used to dress up as pregnant nuns? Hey, just being me. Loretta's away. Do you remember that?
I do. I'm just clearing off my history so you can't see all the porn I looked at.
It was very, very tasteless. Well, don't look at mine.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
I know what you were doing today.
I was live.
I know.
Oh. Well, that...
My gorgeous wife was live.
That and I was...
I gotta get on my troll account here. Hold on.
Doing like nursemaid for... We're gonna have to take the hatching away from the silkies. They're not... I'm afraid that they're gonna sit on it and not get up when they hatch. So we have them now in an incubator. They never get out of there. Like, they only get out for I don't want them. Anyway, so I was doing that. Scout is completely disassembling the scratching post with her.
That's
with his teeth. Look at him. He looks at me like.
All right, hold on. I need to go to our channel. I'm very talented. I can troll someone else that y'all don't even know.
But the thing is, Sean, today, when I tried to, because if you schedule a stream, you have to use your laptop to join it. And it wouldn't join. So that made me wonder if, I don't know. Anyway, I made it work.
What's up, people? Anyway,
hey,
I really do like when Mandi goes live. Because it's normally between like 3 and 4, and it's kind of like the hump time of day. You know, like everyone's coming back.
Oh, really?
And I can put her on, and I was in the big truck listening to you today.
Were you?
Yeah.
And you were like, "Hey, Hope, I haven't seen you in a while."
I like that's my main squeeze.
And she ain't making a fool out of herself either.
No, you do lives well.
Thank you.
I do. I'm biased, but I do think her lives are pretty good, and they're it's a good crowd too, man. Everyone's kind of cool.
Very. So Loretta and I and Karen were talking on this group thread about how people who say like you don't look good or you don't look like you're doing better, like there's not that many because it's evident that you're like better and whatever.
Me, you're talking about?
Yeah, and I was like, I think most people would agree, except for the people that hate us or hate Paula.
Yeah, I mean
nobody can really.
Well, even the ones that hate us, it's just a certain group.
Yeah.
Even people that hate us, if you catch them in another chat, they'll be like, whatever. But he's a better version of himself, not with her. They don't have to like me, or whatever.
And the group that she has in her chat now, for the most part, are people who are going to do nothing but trigger her by talking about Sean and me. Robin especially. I'm glad, it's whatever, but every time she comes in, even if the beast is trying to talk about something else, when Robin or Boho come in talking shit about us, that's what starts it.
Yeah. And here's the thing, a lot of people that watch her are your friend, so so you got like Loretta and Karen, they don't watch her, but they know her, her history and this and that. I have really no idea what she's doing if I wasn't, except for the fact that I'm on social media in the same community.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to like her live. It might be, unless you do something like need an opinion about something, but really I don't think I've ever, it's been a long time. That one time when I walked home.
Yeah.
That was probably the last time
He
I
was in
spent
there
any time.
trolling, and I was like,
Karen knows that time.
we were first together. Yeah,
Yeah.
his dumbass walked home at
I
95
walked
degree
home.
weather.
Yeah, y'all, you remember that, Karen? And Mandy was like, yeah, he's walking home, and I was walking home in like Chucks with no socks
Well,
on.
they'll remember I was extremely upset, like
You
sad.
were, yeah.
Yeah.
And to me, it was like
we hadn't been together. We'd been living together for maybe a month, maybe.
it was hot out, so it was. I think it was the following spring. It would have been about 5 months. And no, it was August. It might have been.
You're right, Loretta. You're exactly right. It says that's the only reason they're over there. It isn't to support her. It's not. And she's not going to be able to stop that path of going down until she looks at these people's motives. It's not all of them.
But I think that what Mandy has noticed is without anything, without any like backstory or anything, she can say, this one did that today, and I can kind of, all right, this is why, and this and that, and then, or this is what's going to happen next. And you're like, God damn, he knows.
Most of the only things that I show him that he has to watch the clip of is when she's like, he couldn't get hard for me. And I was like, she just literally said this. Like that's making her look better.
And I look at,
hey,
and I
Jocelyn,
would look at that and I would go, yeah.
You were like, yeah, we weren't.
I mean,
nobody wanted to.
Couldn't get hard. That's right. I mean, it's pretty fairly unattracted to you.
Hey, Jocelyn.
And I mean, I don't know what else to say. I don't say it with anger or anything
no,
like that.
You just say that's about right.
I mean, really, but that's anybody. Let's say that anybody that's been in a prior relationship.
Well, I hope nobody else can get you.
No, but what I mean is, like, I'm talking about that's anybody that's been in a prior relationship, and you hear that your ex goes, well, this one just couldn't get turned on. What are you supposed to say? Yeah, it was pretty much over.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what do you think? You don't get mad about it, because if you get mad about it and retort, it means you feel in some kind of way. It's like, yeah, that's right. Next.
Thank you, Hope saw it. Hey, Mama Ricky, the queen of everything. Well, I'm glad you're here, Mama Ricky. It's good to see you. Yeah, it was a good stream. I tried to give a different view because I've now gone to like the different places. But it was like showing the fridge, and I was like, the fridge is tacky.
Our fridge?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, well, it also had stuff on it that people are going to zoom in on.
Right, that's true.
But nothing, I mean, if they want to do that Palooza or bullshit or whatever it was, I mean, yeah. I know they saw it. We're not going to it, but if it's to sell somebody a timeshare, let us know.
I might sneak over there and be like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, and then, we saw the thing taped on there from OBX that we got for Christmas when it said...
Oh, yeah. Well, it's not tacky.
No.
I mean, it's not like we have kids that we can put their work on there or anything like that.
Yeah, we could put Katie's cross on there.
I think I had George's football schedule up there. Isn't that still up there in that one?
Yeah, but it was like last year's.
It was the one they just did, I think.
Tried to watch your stream earlier, but the internet was wonky at Walmart on my phone. Well, way to make it happen. I love it. The addition of lights behind us, the LED, I sent you a clip, Jocelyn, were sent by Jocelyn. And
thank you, Josh.
They have even little, sometimes how...
Thank you, Hope.
It's kind of difficult to hang them. They even had hooks on them. Hey, Holly. Thank you. It's our home. I love it. I mean, I really do love it. It's a double lot. We found out that the original people who bought it bought 2 lots, and that's why we have so much room on the other side of us, is that it's actually 2 lots. If we were to fence everything that's part of this property, we could have a full-fledged petting zoo.
Yeah, because it goes way back in the woods. And
we could have a petting zoo.
I heard.
I would clear those trees, though.
Did I show you guys the emus, the baby emus? I didn't show that one, did I?
I think you did show the baby emus.
There's a second one, so I'm going to show.
Is it like a live stream?
No, the baby emus, a dude that comes in, and this is a guy that comes in all the time, and I was the ones that sells bugs and mealworms and everything. Mm-hmm. We talk because he's an animal lover, so we're always talking about, hold on, and so we talk about chickens, and then he was like, do you like emus? I was like, I love emus, and he said, here's my buddy, and
Sawyer Brown.
He's got, this is a real quick one. Those are baby emus.
They kind of look like zebras or something.
Yeah, this is, you didn't see this one though. See, that's the whole other ones.
I know. We'll watch that.
So anyway, this guy has got 17 baby emus that he hatched, which is pretty amazing.
I'm not as into emus. I like birds in general, but I don't have any. They're too big.
They're
big. Too big. Yeah.
Well, what he was saying is, because the reason I thought about it was because you talked about how big our yard would be if we fenced it. He said they need like a pasture.
Wow, that's what they have in most of these places.
Emus need that. So if someone that has an emu and he's got them kind of in a fenced-in little front yard or something, that's not good for them. They need to have a lot of space.
Well, that makes sense. I'm going to show you a picture of the kind of chicken that I want, because you guys know I have this. Oh shoot, I have a phoenix on my wrist. I've had it for a few years. Got it about a year probably before I met Sean. Probably about that. And what is this? One bed.
I was gonna compare it and be
I
like,
love it.
Our chicken coop is the same size.
It's a 1-bedroom, 1-bath house for $5. Is it $5,000 total?
I think it's $500 a month to rent, or does it say $5,000?
It says $5,000. I think that's cute. Look, okay.
So
but that's not what I was.
The whole point. She's on my phone, looking at my pictures, but she trusts me. But I was going to take that one and our chicken coop and put them together because that's not that much bigger.
No, it's really not.
I think it's just more like a shed. So it's a building that looks like a small home, and I think you do what you want with the little bit of space you have.
That's
like
cool.
But
the fact that it's got 1 bedroom, 1 bath.
I think it said 1 bedroom, 0 bath, didn't it?
No, I think it said.
So it's actually got a spot to put plumbing in it.
But who knows if it's. Oh no, 0 bath. You're right. Yeah. I was gonna say $5,000 if it has a bathroom. Hey Luna, remind me what I was looking at.
Emus.
No, we looked. Oh, a phoenix chicken, and then
It was a bird.
These. How much were the eggs, Sean? Like $35.
And you get 3, I think.
Something like that. They kind of look like a Rhode Island Red, or an Australorp.
But more fanciful.
Yeah, look. Sorry, you're better at this than I am. There. Look at its tail. So it's got super long tail like a phoenix, and I think it's fantastically cool.
I think you hit the nail on the head about
what?
Instead of ordering, chicks in the mail, we order the eggs.
Yeah,
and I think it's more humane too, because we have pretty good success with our incubator. I
don't agree with them in the mail.
19 times out of 20, even more than that, 29 times out of 30, when they come in, they're fine. They come in, they're in there for a couple of days, and then they go to the owner. Every once in a while, they don't. I mean, for whatever reason, and it's not cool.
When I first found out, I was gonna call PETA and let them know, but I'm sure PETA already knows that they get sent through the mail.
Pretty sure that it's known that the USPS does that. And if you guys remember the one time when somebody didn't pick up their chickens, see, when chickens are hatched, they put them right in the box. And chickens, so they can go for about 2 days because it takes them a couple of days to really learn how to eat anyway. So, but if by the time they come into the post office, they need to go to the owner within a few hours. They won't last. They won't do very well for one more night because they're hungry.
But you said Tractor Supply is good about picking them up.
Right. No, they're like, I come into work before 9. They're normally, I don't, unless I ask somebody, I don't even know if they got them that day. They already have gotten them before I'm. So, but like people order them, and remember I said that someone ordered, they were Rhode Island Reds, and you were like, could a couple be missing?
Yeah, I was kidding. Don't call them.
Yeah, well. But so the one time if they don't pick them up, the next day, they're really struggling, and some of them might have.
So that's why. But Sean is like, not under my watch.
Nope. I will either bring them home, which is really against like our terms of whatever.
You've never brought them home.
But if I can't bring them home, then I bring the brooder into the post office and keep the package next to it and let them get in the brooder. And I'm telling you what, when people realize that they didn't pick their chickens up, and then they're frantic because they know that, oh, so I waited, so I killed these chickens, and they find out that somebody in the post office has actually put them in a brooder. I mean, that's a super good ups for us. They're
Yeah.
like, oh my God, it's
Well,
like,
that's what I meant. I just meant that you've never had to, not that,
right.
I wasn't trying to say you've never brought them, like, you know what I mean? Like, I was just saying.
But I've had the brooder there a couple of times.
You had me bring it up one time, and then I brought him all the pieces to it, and then he's like, well, where's the big thing? And I was like, that big old tub?
It's a big trough. She was like, you can.
I'm not bringing that.
He says, you can go get that yourself. I didn't.
And he didn't. I was like, they'll be okay with the.
I mean, I brought the whole big trough in there. Like, it's a big hog trough, a hog water trough, and cleared off a whole spot in the back of the post office and set up the lamp and had the food and all that. My supervisor was like, dude, you're serious? And I was like, yeah, I don't want them.
Very cool.
I don't want them to die.
Yeah.
So.
Karen says we have a neighbor that works for the post office, and they bring packages on their way home. It's never a problem. Oh, that's really cool. As long as you scan it.
We did that yesterday, remember?
Yeah.
Or on Sunday.
Yeah, it's a long story how it happened. I'm not even really sure, but we delivered them. There was only two.
It was only two, but one was right next to my parents. So when we divided them up at work, it was like, you take these, you take these. And I was like, I'll take these two, because we were going to Mom's. And so they were both on that route. So I took them and dropped them off. Mandy's like, what are you doing? Stop. And I pull out a post office scanner, beep, put them in the mailbox. It's like, all right, now we can go.
It was cool.
Yep.
It was very, very.
Yep.
Do you want? I saw you didn't even get your drink.
I'll get one in a minute.
I'm sorry. I should have left you a swallow of aloe vera water.
We have this one carrier who's a real stickler for the rules, and a lot of people don't like her. I think I'm of the agreement that you have to have that one whistleblower or that one whatever. Even though they're a pain in the ass, they keep the order of things. They make it so you don't take whatever rule you're bending too far.
Yeah.
So one of the things is certain people aren't supposed to carry stuff or whatever. There's certain rules of who can carry what, who can deliver, and who can be clerk and all that. Most post offices, now that Karen mentioned she's got a neighbor, everyone kind of pitches in and does everything.
Right.
One day I might be at a desk doing stuff. One day I might be at the front, working the front. One day I might be out picking up collections. It's just what we do.
Yes.
And but there's always that one or two carriers that are always filing things. It was like, this person went and did this, and it's like, and people don't like that, but I think it's you need to have someone like that.
Yeah.
To keep the boss people honest. It's not like they're gonna not do it. They're just gonna figure out a way to keep it within, bending the rule instead of just breaking it and blatantly doing something that's gonna get the company in trouble.
Yeah. No, I totally get it. It's it's fun though too. Like, it's fun, like, just to see it get dropped off or whatever. I wouldn't enjoy it all the time, but just to watch how it works. But
It's a noisy. The scanner's noisy though.
Have you ever done a route?
I have done a route on a Sunday. I haven't delivered mail.
Yeah.
I've delivered packages.
Okay. That's what I was wondering.
And I mean, I'm telling you, I'm not a carrier by trade. So these folks, your regular mail carrier, they can do 500 residences in like 4 hours.
Hey, Presley.
They just know how to do it. I'm out there like stopping, getting out, walking up, scanning. They're like, lean over, do the mail, do the package. Doesn't need it, and they're on. I mean, they can like our carrier and that, all of that road, that main road. She can do it in like the main road, not in. She can go from one end to the other 2 hours. Everything, all the subdivisions, the whole thing.
Good.
Yeah,
that's very good. I was like,
no, I'm not going to say it. I wasn't.
He gets very excited about the post office.
But I thought you thought I was going to like dox names and stuff like that. That's what I thought you were doing.
No, I'm not worried about that. You wouldn't do that.
I do. I think you have to be excited about the job that you do. I mean, I don't like going to it every day. That's why I piss and moan and I have tomorrow off. But yeah, there's been times when I was like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's now I wanted to, what was it? It's good to see you, Lindsay. There was something else I was going to say. Anyways, I've lost it. It'll come back to me.
I can always tell when Mandi loses her train of thought because I'm babbling because she'll just kind of like,
I'm like, they
meet my eyes.
They
she's
know
like,
you work at the post. Like,
yeah, she's like, dude.
they
Okay,
know.
so let's do drama then. Let's drag a bitch.
No. It's like if they get hired, you would make a fantastic trainer. For real, like you would. That's what you're good about.
I mean, when we're in bed and I tell her about the day, sometimes she has to go, I know, Sean, this happens every Tuesday.
Well, and it's also like if he has a day off and we're out, he's like, and I it's fine because he's excited, but he'll be like, this street right here is route da 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 da, and it's da 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 da, and I'll be like, okay, well anyway, so I was gonna make tomorrow, and then he'd be like, this one over here, this is, and I'm like,
I am bad about
but
that.
but it's okay. I know you're excited, but sometimes I'll go, okay, cool. Let's talk
about me. Yeah.
No, not me, but you know what I mean. Like
I do know what you mean.
Dinner or whatever.
Yeah.
That's why I say, I'm like, people say, oh, they pretend to be perfect. We don't pretend to be anything that we're not at all. Except
you
we're
learn
like rabbits.
Well, that's true. But like we have learned to communicate like a healthy relationship, which neither of us knew how to do in our prior ones.
Well, like today, you know, when that little rooster that Paula gave us, when you accidentally kicked it off yesterday, and I was like, it's okay. I was like, you're just, and I went today I did it. I didn't go off on him. I was just kind of like irritated, and I was like, okay, and then he goes, oh, and he was like, I'm taking a bath, and he had already run his bath water, but it was funny because the tail comes off, and then today I did it, and I was gonna text you and be like, I wasn't paying attention, and I kicked the tail off. But
it's a valid thing because you wanted me to listen to you and be heard, and I was too busy. I was all spun up about something else, you know.
Yeah, it's okay though.
Yeah,
it really is. I just read an article about a couple in Wisconsin getting busted with 4 pounds of meth got delivered to them in the mail. Police were informed of a suspicious package. It happens. Like a while back before him, there was someone that was delivering it on their route.
Yeah.
Like it's happened. Like
they got rid of the
all joking
route.
Aside.
They got arrested. This was before my time. A person was dealing it out of their truck, while they were on their route. And when they got busted, because I don't think the post office even knew, the police knew, and they were kind of watching them and stuff. So when they made the arrest, they got rid of the whole route. Like they instead of having that route number, they just incorporated into 3 different routes.
Listen to this. Presley on a $10 scratch off won $500, played a $20 scratch off, and won $300 for a total of $800 pure luck. You have good luck because I know that you've said
that's an opening day thing.
It's pretty good that was an opening day thing.
Baseball opening day is Thursday, so that's good luck for the.
Okay. I was like, I was confused. Yeah, she always has good luck though. Even when she goes to the casino and stuff, she has.
But you know who has better luck?
Who?
Rich Life.
Rich Life, Lord. What is he? He's got a.
Someone made a montage of it. All the money he always claimed to win.
And he said he found some in a
dumpster.
And a duffel bag that was at a thrift shop. He said that too.
That happens to people in their life. To Rich Life, it happens like every other month. He finds like $10,000.
He was another one the drama community kind of got interested in for a while, and then he got old and people moved on. And
from what I've heard now, he is, he was kind of Boyd, right? He was a Boyd guy.
Yeah,
sort of.
I think so.
Sometimes when I'm looking at Twitter with a couple of my sock accounts that I follow other communities, they're saying he's really gotten nasty, like really mean, like a Tam type.
Really?
Yeah, and so a lot of people are like, he's just not fun to watch anymore.
Yeah, no, not when it gets to that. Tam was making freaking death threats earlier about 45 minutes ago when I was listening to her. She was saying her dog was gonna kill people, and I'm like.
She says my dog can kill people with one command,
bite.
With one command.
And I'm like,
with one word.
The same dog that jumps up and goes to the bathroom in the house that you don't pay attention to.
On the live stream that you're doing.
She's like, he's trained. Okay.
But he's not house trained.
Yeah, but
he's a trained killer, but he's not Housebroken.
She's like, William, I'm telling them with one bite to the jugular, he can. And I was like, but you can't. Don't say that online.
And William's in the background going, yeah.
And then she said, she said, these stupid effing bitches in the drama community, William, I'm sick of them. And he's like, and he keeps trying to change the subject.
Yeah, he tries to calm her down. He'll change this, well, and he'll talk about music or whatever, and she'll keep it going. And it's whatever. William's whatever. But you got paid.
Thank you, Presley. Was that, I want to make sure that was the right. Yes. Thank you, Presley. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. You're so kind to us. Everybody is.
Whenever there's a text or something, I always lean forward and sometimes it's just whatever because I really can't see.
He can't see that close.
So I got to look there. And it's good because if there's trolls, I don't see it. But sometimes
William,
you can hear William so, intently trying to center Tam Tam to try to steer her away, and it's futile. You can't. I know that. I know it is.
You've been there.
I've been there, and you can try whatever. Even at Vita night when I was like, all right, calm down, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
William's always doing that, and it's like, well, you might as well just go in the other room and shut the door because she's gonna get in when she wants to get in.
So Presley says that she heard Molly Golightly is losing her channel. If it's true, it's about time. I doubt it. Like, I don't know what she could do that.
She might be fighting some strikes or whatever. But
Presley can get you a couple. That's what I was going to say. I was like, Presley, I may buy a couple lottery tickets, mail them to you. You touch them. I'm going to let you keep some. And then send them back to me. And send the ones back to me that you planned on keeping, because that's what makes them lucky.
Yup.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that Presley has these, like, she works super hard.
Does work hard.
She works for everything that she has. It's nothing was given to her. And she's she's so generous.
She is generous.
Yeah.
And we're not just to us. You see Presley around, she's generous person.
But what's funny is when Presley goes into people's chat, they'll say something like, they'll start talking and they'll be like, and we've got links to Cash App and stuff like that in the description. I'm like, they see Presley and they're like, I'm like,
they're like,
I'm like, they're
Presley,
like,
isn't that's the one? That's ATX's friend, right? Yeah. It's like,
and I'm like, it's cool.
I like Elvis. Do you like Elvis? They'll start talking, and it's like,
yeah, exactly. She's got like such a, like, when she sent us like a box of stuff, and a lot of people have it. I'm not minimizing anything, but it was from the heart. We have a salt and pepper shaker that's on a chicken statue. The wind chime that we hung in the bathroom. I didn't want to put it outside, so there's like chickens on it. And then Paula, I took a picture of, she sent me a whole thing of chicken goodies. I love it. I put every single one of them out. All of it. We are that couple.
Yep, it's in the yard. You definitely, if you don't know we have chickens,
but it's not moving. The wind vane, now that all the piece, because there's a piece missing, so the company sent us another one.
We might have to put like some WD-40 on it so it.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm saying, Presley. She has a big heart, but but they, and you can't. We're all like whatever, but they're like.
And another person.
And I'm kind of protective over it because I don't ever want anyone to like take advantage of you. But then I realized nobody's gonna take advantage of Presley.
They're not.
Nobody. She knows.
There's people that don't get along with us that are in Presley's chat, and it's like she's a big girl. She'll take care of that. And it reminds me of how ridiculous the whole allegations against Moxie were. Because there's a whole lot of us that around Christmas time that kind of on the low when Trash Panda was talking about Moxie owing money and stuff like that. There's a whole lot of us that exchanged gifts with Moxie, and we were all like, no.
Yeah, no. Not at all.
Moxie is a generous gal. There's no reason.
And it was such thought put into her gift. Like there was candles, there was stuff exclusive to to Washington State and stuff like that. Totally awesome. But yeah, what did I do? I guess I pinned it maybe? Okay.
Do I have to take that away from you?
Well, I was like, did I just accidentally hide somebody?
Don't hide Presley.
No, I'm not. I thought that's what I accidentally did. Yeah, and Moxie is
Hey,
class,
Lisa
class,
Lou.
class. I'm not saying that anybody's not. Well, there is one person, two people that aren't.
Right.
But she like exudes class, and she's not a braggart, and she's not boastful, and so like that's why I'm like, don't go for that one because
That's why it was
never goes
literally
well.
anybody else. Not, and I'm not saying literally anybody else because there's a handful of people
Yes.
that it was like if you wrote a list of people, it's like I'm gonna start a rumor that someone borrowed money from me and I'm gonna try to spread it. You have to okay, here's 5 people that you can't do it about. She'd be one of them.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Hey Marilyn. Yeah, that's one of the, it's like you'd have to if you're gonna lie about her, that's the last thing that you want to. But Sean and I are like we're pretty protective of our friends. Like if we see them taking shit like because of us or anything like that, we get upset.
But I mean, yeah, we do. But I mean, like, also, we've been in this drama stuff long enough that people have beef. So it could have been 2 other people that we know and might like, and they were like, this one owes me money. And it's like, okay, well, that's your business. It's none of our business. But this was so preposterous. That's what I mean. It's like,
I had to laugh when,
I mean,
and Paula too. I had to laugh because
right.
Paula was a kid. I'm like, no. They are the ones that are generally like, it just, anyway, I think it must have died down because I haven't gotten any screenshots of crazy shit being said by that girl.
That was because she probably had other people that were like, I don't like her anymore either, but you know, this is what she, you know.
This is what
Moon Bear's chat knows how generous she is.
I don't think that this is exactly like the big can of it.
Yeah, I don't either. I had one of those last night.
It tastes a little bit too sugary.
I think it tastes
Let's see how
not
much
sugary
sugar.
enough.
When people send this to their kids' classroom, so it's 100 calories total, which is a lot in my opinion. Not like a deal breaker, but it's a lot. And I don't see 26 grams of sugar, 42% added sugar. You used to be all into health and lifting weights and stuff.
But
what is
with
that a
Jumix,
lot?
me and my ex-stepson, who's really into bodybuilding and stuff, Braden.
Did I drink this?
We would like, and he was in like 8th grade or whatever. Before he got into health,
Okay,
we would go to the store and this Jumix, and it was like 30 cents a can back then. You know.
Yeah, that's
and we would get it
not that much
and
more.
Like the regular 8-ounce can, and it was so good, but it was so like
sugary,
too much for a 50-year-old.
Yeah,
for sure. I was 10 years ago, so I was,
It's one of those things how, like we bought them because we're like, oh, they're in juice box now. So I kind of talked about it today. And then it sat in the fridge like we like had a debriefing period before we finally decided to try it.
And that might be why it tastes a little different.
You have body armor left in the other fridge, don't you?
I have a bunch.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And I have Gatorade.
Usually when you're hitting up the stuff that we don't touch, it's because you have run out of...
It was just what was there when
He's got his own fridge. Y'all know that. He loves it, and I think it's fabulous. He gets so excited. I
put my Stouffer bowls and chicken wings up in the freezer, and my Tombstone pizzas. Those are the 3 things.
That is a fact. Tombstone pizzas.
Tombstone pizzas.
I can confirm he does indeed like those.
And the Stouffer bowls. My favorite one is the barbecue mac and cheese. Mandi knows.
I do know.
And so that's the freezer. That's all that's there, and maybe like a bottle of water that I've frozen. And the bottom is all drinks like water. I like Cool Blue Gatorade. I like the strawberry banana body armor, and then the bottles of Coke that was shown in a picture, I guess, on Twitter by somebody.
He does like Coke bottles.
I like the bottled Coke, the Mexican Coke.
I told him, I was like, because she focused it on the Coke and said that you play video games, and he was like, absolutely. Yep. You're damn right.
When I tuned in on the way home from work, I saw Mandy's.
Welcome back, Presley.
Mandy's live, and normally I have 15 minutes. Her live is about an hour, so I just take my finger and I just move it to somewhere so I can listen to 15 minutes.
And he never sees boobs.
No, never see boobs. And it was the part where you were describing. Yeah, he does.
I did.
We have 2 TVs in the other room and this and that and blah blah blah.
Absolutely, we spoil each other, and that's the name of the game. No no, what do you say, like, one up? I'm gonna hold your hand. No, one up or whatever. Like, not one up, because nobody does that, but not like, well, I did this, so he. We don't.
It's kind of
we don't have
yeah, we don't have that.
a meter of who did what. Like some people, like it's, and he does like energy drinks.
Mm-hmm. I
Do you
every
like
once in
energy
a while,
drinks?
yeah, I do.
He does.
I need to figure out
Do
something.
you make
else,
sandwiches on the
I make
counter?
sandwiches on. I don't use any bread. I'll get 2 pieces of Colby, and I put the roast beef in between the 2 pieces of cheese, and I eat it that way, so I don't have any bread in there.
He does. He does. Well, you put mayonnaise on it.
Well, I do, but the first couple times, Mandy was like,
I was like,
he is kind of a mess when he's.
Well, no, but you did it, and then like when she said like a few days later, and he makes sandwiches on the counter. I was like, now that is, I can vouch for that. He does. Yeah. But doesn't bother. There's nothing that bothers me, and it's always random stuff when I get irritated, like stupid stuff like the rooster or whatever, dumb stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, when you're trying to get my attention and I'm walking around, it's like just.
But you're excited to see me, and I'm excited to see you.
It's true.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Oh, I think because your bath water had been run, and then we were going to go live, and you were running out of time, and I wanted you to have enough time.
And you were trying to tell me something too.
Oh, the video.
You were trying to show me a video.
So those of you who I text with know. Okay, so my grandparents' house that they bought brand new. Let me go into this, and I'm going to show it to you, and I'm going to post the videos too, because at this point it doesn't really matter. But it was. Let me go into mine. So my grandfather's was a retired. He was active when they bought this house, but he was a retired firefighter in Austin, and that was when you saw the bear dog.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a bear.
Look at the bear.
And so they bought this house. We're pretty sure that it was about that they bought it for. It must have been. I know it had to be. 15,000, because in 1963 there's no way that it was 55,000. There's just not. But this is it when it was brand new. It's in Austin. And then remember the video I showed the other day where it had been, my uncle was filming it and it had burned or whatever. But the other part to this story, and I have to post it because it's on there. So it did burn. And it did burn because of that. But prior to that, over the last probably year, it's one of those neighbors that makes their yard an eyesore, like puts mannequins and all
kinds of weird stuff.
Like just junks the yard out. Mm-hmm. And so one of the neighbors had a problem and kept calling the city and said, this is ridiculous. And like one of the things, like the person would spray paint messages on this stuff for the neighbor, like love thy neighbor, even if they're a C word. Oh, wow. And so it was back and forth, back and forth. Well, finally it burned. It was a meth house and it burned. So they got demolition approved for the house. So this last video that I have, I had to send it in 2 parts to the people that saw it, but they go into the story of what's been going on and whatever. So this is what's happening now. We have gotten a hold, not me, but my siblings have gotten a hold of the news that aired the story, and they're going to put another story together where they show pictures like that, and they show pictures from like Christmas Day. There's some pictures of when my grandmother passed away, when we were meeting afterwards at the house, that we were all in the carport area meeting, just how much love and life was in that house, that people would never think about. They see it and they think, it's an interesting story, whatever, but the news is like, okay, yeah, we'll do it. And my brother is going to speak on my grandfather's firefighting career.
Wow.
So that is pretty fascinating. They're going to be like, revisiting this story, and they're going to show exactly when the house was built, who had it. They are the only ones that owned it from 1963 on. They're going to show that, you know, it's just a whole different. If you remember the video that I showed, it doesn't look anything like that one that when they bought it. And when my grandfather bought that house, he was so proud of it.
Should be.
So proud of it because firefighters, they still don't make enough in my opinion, but they really didn't in the 40s and 50s and 60s. You have there ain't nothing wrong with old houses. Cookie cutter houses are overrated. But so then they're going to speak probably on my uncle's baseball career and that his humble beginnings like this started there. And I think it's going to be cool.
Yeah.
I didn't think they'd
wish
be
we could
interested,
there.
but they
I wish
are.
we could have been there for it.
I know. I was like, my son might do like a clip from afar saying, yeah, you know, I'm of the latest generation or whatever. And because they sold it after my grandfather died in 2009. So from then on, there was no
15 years worth of kind of it going downhill. And
exactly.
And did it end up being like a rent house? Like
They
somebody
sold
bought
it.
it, and then it sounds like there was a few different people
Right.
that have been in it.
The first people that bought it didn't keep it perfect, but they didn't keep it quite like this. We knew something was going on because when we would drive by it just to see it when we were in that part of town, there was tarps on the carport so nobody could see in.
I've seen it a couple of times. So this would be like 2020 or whatever.
I wish you could have met my grandparents.
And Mandi mentioned how the neighborhood was very different. You know, and when you just drove through, there was different. It was more kind of a downtown, sort of a not quite a suburb, but like a little like.
Not like that. What we just looked at.
No, not at all.
Trees had. I mean, it was
that. What you saw that picture that's before. There's like it was all kinds of trees. But it was. More,
I didn't know that Presley. But Presley has a 3-story house. But the fascinating, like we played wiffle ball in the backyard, and because all of my uncle's boys were baseball players, they could hit the wiffle ball and break the window with it because they would hit it that hard.
Yeah.
And my grandfather always just called the last man after the celebration.
Yep.
The other thing is because our tradition was like hot sausage and stuff for our celebrations. We didn't really do turkey. It was Elgin hot sausage. Anybody who knows
right down there
Texas,
southeast of
knows. And then sides, and both toilets would be clogged and overflowed before the end of the day.
I talked to somebody
like so bad that they would have to get a plumber because it was so bad.
I talked to somebody that is near Elgin. It made me think of it from Bastrop.
Oh, really?
So I was like, yeah, you know, and I was like, yeah, I know Bastrop, and they look at you like really, and I said, well, we lived here, and on our way to Galveston, we would always go through Bastrop, and Elgin was like either right before or right after.
Right before.
Right before Bastrop.
Yeah. And they lived in Elgin. My grandfather and my grandmother took the kiddos and moved to Austin to be on the fire department, but the rest stayed in Elgin. And when I say like indigenous Elginites or whatever it is, like the downtown, my great aunt was the beauty salon owner. My great uncle of another one of the sisters was the postman that delivered all over Elgin. So they all lived.
It was either Bastrop or Elgin where you stopped at the Walmart. And this was when baseball cards and stuff were hard to find because it was during COVID, and they had them there. Remember that? Because
you have family in Bastrop, yeah. I think it was Bastrop on the way to Bastrop when you found the baseball cards.
Yeah, we just stopped in because this is why we like Buc-ee's so much, because when you're traveling and you think of a million things, Mandy's like, stop at the next Walmart or stop at the next Target.
Yeah, I'll always stop at Target.
Yeah, and so Buc-ee's is kind of like, we have a deal. So I'm like, oh, we need gas. So we can get gas and we can like.
They sell everything there.
Yeah.
And my sponsor lived in Bastrop. So I used to drive there, you know, when I was actively working the steps the first time, I was going back and forth like all the time.
About an hour.
Something all the time. So anyway, it'll be interesting. I'll make sure I post the news clip, and then I'm going to post this most recent one of the crazy neighbors. And the lady is like beside herself.
Really?
She's like, look at this. Look what they put there. And it was like, they made like all these dolls with red eyes that glowed at night. And she was like, nobody wants this in their neighborhood.
The thing about something like that, and it blew up because they were producing meth there.
Yeah.
Why would you? I mean, you're drawing. I mean, most meth houses are like back, like off in the woods or somewhere where it's not drawing attention because they're meth. Why would you want the cops to show up on a noise complaint?
Yeah.
And so
that's a very, very good point. Yeah. And then anyway, you'll see the clip that when I post the video, the police were there all the time. And I don't know. It's an interesting thing. It's open to interpretation. But that was what I wanted him to watch, but he was busy.
I was like,
and so I was like, wanted him to see it. And then I was like, that's my rooster.
The thing that,
hey, April,
the thing about coming home to Mandi after a long day, especially a Monday, cause it was a Monday, it was last night. Right. And, is I get super tired like during the day, but then when I know I'm coming home, I catch my second wind, but I'm not really have energy. I'm just excited to see you. So I'm exhausted, but when you're exhausted, but you have all this energy and you're a little bit delirious and and that's normally what it is. But when she's like, go get in the bath, dude. I go and I sit in the bath, and about 6 or 7 minutes into my bath, I kind of level out.
And it helps his back too to take a bath or whatever. So, I mean, that is another thing I can confirm. He takes baths, and that's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay, right?
It is.
This week can bathe Sawyer Brown in the bathtub.
Sawyer Brown.
So
Sawyer.
Let me see this.
Come here. Let me come over here for a second. I'm gonna grab this toy. I'll come over to see you, but I'm gonna grab this toy.
He's getting a bath tomorrow.
You getting a bath? Come here.
In April, Presley. We're kind of being vague about exactly when for, obvious reasons, but I will text you and tell you exactly when we're going towards the end. Look.
What's that, Sawyer?
What is it? And you know what they said?
What?
Even though they dragged the hell out of us on Telfler's panel, they all agreed that Sawyer's cute.
Yeah.
Sawyer has been bonding communities for a very long time.
He is saying we can bury the hatchet.
Yes, they were like, they do agree that Sawyer's cute. And I was like, my mom and dad have Shih Tzus. Well, now they don't. They have a Bella Presley. They have a Chihuahua
I haven't met that
Pomeranian
one yet.
mix or whatever. Looks just like Bella. And
they have a psycho cat.
They have a cat. Let me tell you, when I say this cat, they had to put it on Prozac.
It was something.
It was so dominant and mean.
It was mean. It would have just attacked you. And if you made eye contact with it, it would freak out.
I have video of when I visited and he'd be looking at me from across the room and then all of a sudden it just lunged.
Yep. Now I was one of the first ones, and it's not mean or anything, but I would push the cat off of me, or when it would attack my hand, I'd kind of slap it back. So it had a measure of respect for me, but still, I think it looked at me as a challenge.
When it would lunge to bite him, he would literally just like this, and cat wasn't used to that.
I would just put my hand out, so it'd hit my hand, and I would just grab him, and he'd try to bite. And he bit me. He wasn't really, he hurt if he got up, but I wouldn't let him really get a hold of me. And then
that's the other thing about
that would piss him off. He would step back.
They're not even love bites. They're so he's calmed down.
He's a type like a Morris the cat type color, like an orange cat.
And in my previous relationship, there was no possibility of getting a Shih Tzu, even though I loved him, because it just wasn't a person that they didn't want small dogs. So when Sean and I got together, and I knew about Lily because I had seen her, and I was like, "So we can get a Shih Tzu?" He was like, "We can get a Shih Tzu."
And when we talk about this story, I know Mandi much better than I did that first Christmas together. I mean, I loved her. I'd already fallen in love with her, and I know I wanted to, but I didn't know her like the day-to-day Mandi. And so her, when we talked about a Shih Tzu, I am quite sure that the wheels were turning for her way before I realized it. Like, we were in Galveston, and
The week before Christmas.
Right. And then while we were in Galveston, he said this would be the time. You know, we had a little bit of extra money. We were on vacation, and she's like, I can make that happen.
I said in Houston, because you go through Houston on the way back to Austin, I said, I guarantee you the week of Christmas, one of these people in Houston have some available. And the lady did. And of course I had to do my research, make sure she was a reputable breeder and all of that. But the next day we were meeting in a parking lot. I was given some money and we had us a puppy.
Yep. And she had brought 2, and I was like, don't even take the other one out.
Yeah, we would have gotten both of them if. So anyway.
You guys know, but I'll tell you, even sometimes I've just, we'll talk, because Sawyer sleeps on the bed with us. We have to move him, we get him out of the room, obviously, if there's other stuff. But he sleeps there. And every once in a while, we'll be like, Mandy will be like, is he a good dog? And I think about it, and I'm like, he's a good dog.
He's a good dog.
We did really good with Sawyer.
And it's also the way the breeder interacts with them, and she's got a whole program for him. Sawyer loves being groomed. And the thing is he loves it. He really doesn't like getting baths, and he doesn't like the hairdryer and stuff. He loves the people there. So when he knows where he's going, he doesn't even care what the purpose is.
He knows where we're going too. So if we go past it and we don't stop there, he gets upset.
Yeah. Right now I won't even say it because he'll think that he's going to get, but yeah, he's good when he's growled twice.
He's only snapped once.
He snapped. Why did he snap? Because you were trying to take that thing.
I was taking something that
he was chewing on.
One time he snapped at me because I pulled his tail.
Well. And
it wasn't like I yanked his tail, but he was trying to sleep and I was just tugging on it. And he just finally turned around and he was like, "Rrr."
He doesn't care. You can sit there. I know Presley. Bella is a love bug. You'll sit there, you can mess with him he's like, you could never do this with Lily. No. She would bite you just for general
She didn't even like me moving. When she was like next to me, if I even tried to roll over, she'd be like,
yeah. She was something else, and a lot of female Shih Tzus are.
Yep.
Right.
Well,
a lot of women are. They bite.
Well, the female Shih Tzus are. That's the rule that I've never. They're the nippy, really, bitchy ones, and the male Shih Tzus are pretty cool. They're pretty laid back, right, Sawyer?
Thank you. So the other thing, which is kind of funny, is the rooster that we're talking about, the decoration. In fact, I've got a couple, but this one is kind of life size. I wanted to film the reaction of we put outside, and when Tiny turned around and saw it, this rooster is such a wuss.
Care.
He was pretty sure it was real, but he looked at it, then he ran for the woods.
And every time we'd move it around, he'd run from it. He's a lover.
There was no video to post because he did not care.
Yep, and the videos that we post of the chickens do pretty well. I mean, they're the little shorts that we do. Yeah, I mean, anything, people like country life stuff. They like...
I need a TikTok. They said TikTok is where to do it.
It is. Or even an Instagram, like, and you can link them. Like the one Instagram, Silky Diva Silkies, but they go right up close to them. And
if we spend some time on voiceovers on them, we probably do pretty well. Sean's very, very witty when it comes to what animals are saying. And I am too, but he's really good at it. Right?
I guess.
I'd have to do the female's voice. Like the other day with Tiny, I was like, "Where's your hens?" And he was like, "Shit." And he went running. And the teenagers came around the corner and he's like, "Move!" And he was like,
I mean, one of the all-time popular ones is like, "Oh, he went and left you."
And Red was like, "Nah."
And
he comes back and he's like,
back. "You better just take it, Tiny."
And then he's walking by her and he's like, "Nap, nap," and she's like,
don't talk back to her.
I was like, no.
Don't talk back.
Oh yeah, Tracy and Shar.
Oh yeah,
they're back. They did their. I just saw that the link was posted on. Have a good night, Presley. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Presley.
Thank you. Have a good night, and hope hubby continues to feel decent. I know
as good as he can.
Yeah. Yes. So
yeah, I'm interested in seeing that. Maybe we can watch it while we're in bed.
They're back, and it's going to be interesting. I wonder if she's got any of her old footage from way back when. That's
why we have to watch it.
She might have some of it from the beginning.
Well, then you might see Hawk in it.
Yeah.
I sometimes when I see, it's kind of like when I was watching Anna Nicole's video and you're in it and you cry in it, and I thought, man, that I don't need that. But then I think about, man, she's got to put up with seeing my shit sometimes, like every
You
once
know
in a
what's
while.
funny though? I when he used to say whatever he said at the end, this is the hawk or whatever, in the comment section, because we would banter a little bit, I was like, don't say that shit, it's dumb. And that
Did you say that?
yeah, it was me that said it, and you didn't say it anymore.
But lately,
I
mean,
promise.
I'll have to.
I promise.
Yeah, I mean, I listen. I mean,
But now that I know your personality and I know whatever, and I'm like, so I was like, oh, he quit saying it. Go me. I know that you're like, you were probably looking at it going, oh, what?
well,
I was like, don't say that shit.
well, I would. It's normally went two ways with me back then. It was like, oh, or it was like, well, fuck you.
I said no. I said it'll. If you say Tomahawk Sean, it'll feel better. Or this is Sean, and that's what you did.
Yeah.
And that was way back.
That's why I'm wondering. Like, Carlos calls me Hawk when he's in there.
He
He's
probably
like,
was
yeah,
around.
I mean,
Yeah.
But well, he was back. He was around as Carlos, I think.
And when he did the Tomahawk Sean or the husband breaks his silence, how many views did it get?
I would have to look. I think it's still. I know I put it on either between 12 and 15,000.
That's what I was. Pretty quick.
Well, no, every time that someone would discover her, they'd be like, and "This is the." Yeah.
Everybody was shocked because we'd heard your voice, and there were a couple of times you were seen a little bit when you were telling her, "Calm down, do your makeup, quit talking about people."
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
And then you were like, "You can do your little makeup thing. Stop talking about Amy Slayton."
Yeah.
And then. Is that it, Karen? Is it? Oh, that might be Sharon.
Yeah, that's probably it.
But that was the one. You had the palm tree sheet behind. She had that behind her, the palm tree sheet that you had.
But a lot of that was like there's a palm tree.
It was
sheet.
at the condo, obviously.
Yeah, but she would go in Becca's bathroom, the other bathroom, not the.
No, this was the bed.
Okay, yeah, that would have been So
thank you, Karen.
Because the bathroom that was off the master was a little bit like this one, the one back here that it was small. So and it was fine for like me because it had a tub, but it was a small tub, whatever. But the master bath was actually all the way down in the front of the condo where Becca's room was, and a lot of times she would do streams there.
Yeah, I remember that.
I think the blood bath was in there.
It was?
When I was in Atlanta. I think that's where that happened.
It's so funny how all of those things stuck, those names.
I would have loved to have...
The manifesto.
I would have loved to have been in that condo with you.
I know. We talked about that a lot.
And it's perfect when you have like one of the kids visiting, either mine or yours, because that bedroom that was Becca's, so, you had everything was kind of situated so that the windows that overlooked the ocean, you could see it. But then there was one long hallway with nothing but the laundry room in the hallway, and then the bathroom, and it was nothing else. Like it didn't have a bunch of rooms all the way to the front of the condo. So she was a teenager, she had all her privacy.
So how many bedrooms was it?
It was just those two.
There's 2 bedrooms?
Yeah.
I mean, to have there's Carlos, he said ATX and Hawk. There was the fact that you had a sliding glass door that opened up to the beach.
Well, it wasn't exactly to the beach. It when you open the sliding glass door, it was a raised up, like, because it's on stilts, so the water. Mm-hmm. And so you could see the dune, and then you could see the ocean. You had that go out the front door and along the walkway to actually get, but it's still
so you couldn't see the ocean from your apartment?
You could,
oh, that's
but
what
it wasn't.
I mean. I mean, it didn't have walkout.
It was 4 stories, so the people that lived on the 4th story, even though they didn't have walkout, they had it was like the top floor of where we were at OBX. Mm-hmm. Imagine that. So where we lived, where our condo was sort of a little bit like that, but it was up. So when you looked out, the bedroom, there's a sliding glass door that looked at it, and there's a porch, so you go out that sliding glass door, and then there was another sliding glass door to the living room.
Oh, wow.
And the only thing, so you lived in that part of the house, the kitchen was behind it, but then you had just this long walkway, and it was almost on purpose. Like it was this long, dark hallway, and it was almost kind of like from that room to here. And all you had was the washer and dryer in the bathroom. There was nothing else along this wall. It was just darkness, no windows, no nothing to her room.
And it was like $1,500 a month, right?
$1,100.
Holy shit.
I paid $1,100 a month for that with everything included. That my cable was included, my electricity was included.
They'd be like, these old...
The water was included.
If it was you and I, they'd be like, gross. These old people in this thing right there, they're always doing stuff on their balcony.
But we were the youngest
people
people there.
No, I'm saying if it was us.
No, but what I mean is, even now, if you and I were there, everyone... So it had like 70...
But we are kind of crotchety old people. So
we are now, but we were still... we'd still be the youngest ones that lived there.
Yeah.
There were 75 units, so there was probably 12 to 15 units of people that live there all year round. So during the winter, there's this huge cavernous condo complex with only like one in every like 5 or 6 units that had people in.
That's cool. I said the thing that I would want to do is like make an investment to flip it and maintain it and start with that one and start running it out.
He wanted to sell it to me for $239,
which is not a lot for
but it needed a lot of work, and it appraised at about $190. There was a whole bunch of work that needed to be done. The whole AC system had to be changed.
Yeah, the VA would have never approved
No, they wouldn't have approved it anyway, because it's not a standalone residence.
Thank God you didn't,
a condo complex.
You didn't buy a piece of property with her. You know what I mean?
I mean, right before me and Jessica got divorced, we had almost closed on a house too, and up in Plainfield, Connecticut.
Was it nice?
It was a horse pasture and everything in it, and it was a set. There's a group. It was a couple of people in their 70s, and so they wanted, and they only wanted like, I think it was like $289.
And why did it fall through?
Because the lady. Okay, so the story is that the husband and wife they wanted to move to be with their kids in Arkansas, and they couldn't sell this place because it was in like rural Connecticut. But it had I'd say about 5 acres or so. And the basement wasn't finished. So I told the guy, I want you to put a heating unit, like one of the things so that I could put a bathroom down there so I could finish the basement. I want you to fence the whole area. And there was a 2 or 3 stall horse stable. Mm-hmm. And I want you to clean it and fix it up. And I want you to pay the closing costs. He said, done.
Really?
Yeah, done. And all I had, because they wanted to move so badly. I mean, so I paid for all the inspections. I paid for the inspections where they came out and dug up, looked at the septic tank.
Was it a VA loan?
No.
It was a regular.
I had a regular conventional loan, and it was before I got divorced, so I had great credit. I was a captain,
Yeah.
And so what had happened is we were supposed to close on a certain date, but she wasn't ready. She had lived in that house for like 40 years or something like that.
And she wasn't ready?
She was like, we want to go, but they were older and they were dragging their feet. She says, so let's push the closing on 30 days later. And I said, well, if we're going to do that, we're going to do it for tax purposes to the next fiscal year. Because then instead of moving in like August, I said, well, we'll move in October. Mm-hmm. And in that time frame, it was September. She told me we would get divorced.
Oh.
And so they presented it early. They presented it in like May or June, or whenever it was, with us moving in August, and that's when the lease whatever the contract came in. She said no, she needed more time. So I said, well, we're going to take more time. And in that time frame, we got separated.
Hypno-man.
We got separated.
Wow.
Can you imagine if I had to give that?
And she was going to be on the title?
It was my wife.
Yeah, but I mean, if she had no, that thing is still bundled up. I see now. I got you.
And so
I thought you had to have income to be. I guess not. Not if one person.
Because you didn't.
I don't know.
But it worked out because that would have been a mess too.
Yeah,
that would have been a mess. A house I had no equity in yet, but yet I was bound to pay for it. She would have easily gotten that with the kids.
Yeah.
And that would have been a mess.
Well, everything worked out the way
it was
supposed to, right?
It did. I'm here with you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what?
History of the hawk.
I have cramps.
Aww.
So, no, I'm just saying that because I'm like, I need the rapid dissolve Tylenol.
Okay.
I'm not going.
I got it.
He's
No.
always like, you're gonna go get that stuff. If you've never used it, the Tylenol, it's not like goodies. It doesn't have like it just has acetaminophen, obviously, because it's just Tylenol.
I always
I'm not supposed
worry
to take
like hell. Like if she,
inflammatories.
we live 10 miles from anything. It was, and again, that was like living at the condo. You know, you were 20 minutes to anything, 30 minutes. Mandy wants to get something, she getting it. And and I'm like, okay, so she'll jump in the car and go. And I worry like hell if it's like 10 o'clock or whatever. I just do. And I never was like that before. I don't do well without her. I go to work and all that, but I'm rarely in this house by myself.
Yeah.
Mandy spends a lot of time here by it, you know. I'm not in our home by myself very often at all. Only
I don't particularly like going out at night either. It just depends on if I have to get something. That's usually the only time. Usually it's CVS because it's for Tylenol or Mylanta or something like that. So that's usually why.
They're talking about.
I think I'll just take the tablet Tylenol.
Well, they're talking about like they're building though all the way up. In the next 10 years, there's going to be stuff all the way to here. We probably won't be here. We'll be wherever we're going to buy. But it's coming, and we were always joke like they're going to build a Target out here. We're going to be in trouble.
And I think that they're about to.
Yeah, they're about to build a Target out here.
That's going to be bad news for him.
That's like crack for Mandy, a Target.
Oh, I love Target. I love Target. I don't go unless I have at least $200 to spend because number one, that's what it's going to be. And
guess how many times? And since we've lived here in 2 years, she's been to Target 15 times. She makes sure she has $200 when she goes.
Well, the last time I went on the way to drop your mom and dad off for her surgery, and then I went on the way back from dropping them off, and then I hung out there waiting for them to call me the next day that that she was going home.
So they don't have.
They have good popcorn, Carlos.
They don't have a Target in Dawsonville nor Dahlonega. They have one in Cumming.
They have that mom and pop policy where.
Yeah.
Hardly
but it's about 40 minutes to get there.
It is.
It's 45 minutes. And so if you just go down there to grab something, come back, you're out of the loop for a couple hours.
And the reason they've served popcorn and the reason it smells so good is that the person who founded Target had a philosophy that you appeal to each one of the people's senses. And they'll spend more. So like that's why you walk in and it's very clean and bright and, you know, enticing what's there and it's organized.
The candles, which in this particular Target, when you walk in, right on the left is all the candles and nice. And then the popcorn
candles. Smell is for scent and taste because people crave it. And then the hearing is they don't play music, but they don't cackle calling people over the intercom either.
I didn't know any of that.
Yeah.
I remember one Christmas in Jacksonville, I was going to work seasonally at a Target.
Were you?
Yeah.
If they pay well, from what I understand. I worked there in high school.
Yeah.
And then the feel is why they always have blankets folded up, like fuzzy blankets and different things like that, on some sort of display somewhere near where you walk in, where you're drawn to touch it or whatever.
So they have that one line of men's clothing called Goodfellows. That's from Target. That was okay. I mean, it was
it's good stuff.
A step up from Walmart guys' clothes. I mean, jeans are jeans, but they had like the whole ensemble. Like they'd have dress shoes and anywhere from, you know, the boxer shorts all the way up to like little blazers and
now
everything in between.
Their men's clothing are super metro.
Yeah.
Which, if that's your style, that's your style. But and they have the biggest maternity section of any of the things, and they did that on purpose as well, because the class of people that shop there, they said were females between something like 20 and 35. So that was why they did such a big like maternity section and baby section.
How does the owners of Target, do we know, like we know the Walmart owners are the Walton family. We know they're like, I think they might be the richest. Family. Well, you got Elon Musk, but like as far as like family owned stuff, you've got a few of them like the Hershey family and this and that.
That's a good question.
Who owns Target? And
now it's probably someone that like not a corporation, but like probably one of the princes in the Middle East. They own everything.
It might be.
but we are going to take off for now. I'm also tired. Like, you
I
know,
know,
when
baby.
your eyes
I
sting.
know.
He knows me very
And
well.
when she says I'm gonna go get something, I I get a little pang of anxiety because I miss her, and that's all.
I miss you during the day.
Huh?
When you come home, that's
She's
like
so take that.
no, but that's
you.
like the bright spot is
I
waiting
know.
for you to come in. Usually, when he says he's on his way, I'll go out there. And if
Always.
the chickens are hiding or whatever, because they're doing whatever, I try to get because he likes them to be there when they're in the yard. So I have to go round them up.
Not very often do I come home from work and she's not here.
Yeah.
She might be at a meeting or doing, you know, AA or whatever, but she tries really, really hard to be here.
Yeah.
And it means a lot. It does.
Those are the things we accept about each other that are just not that big of a deal.
Yep.
But we are going to run off. Thank you, Presley. Thank you earlier for Dee that sent the super chat when we were in my stream earlier. And for your support, you guys being here is amazing because
it is.
We can talk about anything or nothing and maintain a fairly decent crowd, which is good. Yeah. But we will probably see you tomorrow because Sean is off tomorrow.
Yeah. We're
You don't have to go in early on Thursday, right? Okay.
Well,
y'all have a good night. Y'all have a good night. And we will see you next time.
Thank you, Holly.
Bye.